In this video, I'm going to be talking you through everything you need to know about the LinkedIn ad format that every company should be using, which is thought leadership ads. We'll be going through how this format differs from traditional ads, how to set one up, and why it's quickly becoming one of the best ad formats for B2B brands. So I'll stop wasting time and we'll jump straight into it. So first and foremost, what is a thought leadership ad? So if we go to an example here, we can see traditionally, this is what ads look like. We have the company page here, so Meta for Work, for example. You can see the followers, and then the ad is being promoted by the work itself from the ad account. Now with thought leadership ads, that is quite a bit different. So for example, here's a post I wrote a couple of months ago around LinkedIn ad campaigns I'd run for certain B2B industries. Now I posted it here, it got my organic reach. And then as you can see here, that's just a typical post. But then if you go over onto where I've promoted it, you can see here promoted by Session Media. So the biggest difference with thought leadership ads versus traditional ads is it's getting paid for promotion by your company, but your personal profile and your personal posts are the ones that are being displayed and shown to your target audience market. And it's super cool because you no longer have to rely on the algorithm to show your posts to everyone in your target audience or your ICP. You can instead actually just promote them through LinkedIn ads to be able to then get that content in front of everyone. And hopefully it makes people focus a bit more on the content they're posting versus just trying to get likes and engagement. It actually allows you to focus on actually trying to get people to consume your core message. But this is not all sunshines and rainbows, and I kind of want to get through some of the pros and the cons. And I want to start with the pros here, and then I'll move on to the cons of why some reasons why you may not want to use this format before I then get into showing you how to set this up. So one of the biggest pros are the fact that people just care about hearing from people more than brands. I mean, a good example would be if you look at Bill Gates' account here. Bill Gates has 38 million odd followers. When you look at Microsoft, has roughly 26 million followers. So you can kind of see, even though Microsoft and even LinkedIn has less followers than Bill Gates on the LinkedIn platform. So people just want to hear from people than they want to hear from brands in themselves. And it's especially true when it comes to smaller companies. On top of this is a whole lot of research on personal brands and individuals being a much more effective way to communicate their message, and then actually a cause and effect relationship between the better that someone's personal brand is and then the better company perception as well. So you can not only go away and build your personal brand successfully, but if you have a good and trusted personal brand and you're posting from your personal profile, then it's also going to have a causation effect and actually making people look more favorably on your actual company brand as well. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone there. People care about hearing from people, and also personal brands are also able to impact the perception of your B2B brand. The next pro is the native way to advertise in your feed. If you scroll down the feed and you keep seeing ads from brands and videos and buy now and get demo and to get ebook, it's always like, okay, this is just like interrupting the conversation. These thought leadership ads are a really good way of natively inserting yourself in the conversation, just making sure your targeting is actually on point and there's much less wastage. Next one, from a technical perspective, you actually get 15-minute video limits, and I'll get onto this a bit later. From a company page or traditional ads, you only get around 10 minutes. You get 50 minutes with personal, which is great. And up until recently, you actually got more text as well. That's kind of even now. It's cheaper creative, so rather than spending hundreds on every designed asset, you can just go away, and obviously you pay for it in time and expertise and everything else, but you can go away and you can add these thought leadership ads and posts into your creative mix, and ones that do well organically, you can go away and promote them. What's really good as well is, as a pro, is you used to have to actually be part of a company to be able to promote content through that brand, but now you can do a second degree connection. So anyone connected to from a second degree perspective, we can promote their content. So if we wanted to bring influencers on, you wanted to bring people that talk about your brand and go and do a search and say who's talking about XYZ software, I can go away and say, do you mind if we promote your post? And you can promote it as long as you're a second connection. But again, that's quite easy to do. You just couldn't go and ask Bill Gates if you can use thought leadership ads of one of his, because he's probably not a second connection. You can also edit the post after it's gone live. So once the post has gone live, you can go back through, and I wouldn't recommend putting an external link to start with because it will suffocate the algorithm's reach even more than it already has done at the moment. So I wouldn't do that to start with, but say for a couple of days or up to a week afterwards, you can go back through the post, edit it, add a link, add a call to action, actually make it a bit more focused to directing someone if that is what the idea of the post is. And good content as well. I think from a C-suite, one of the few moats we have these days is content and expertise and genuine thought leadership. Just because they're called thought leadership posts doesn't mean that people who post them are going to have genuine thoughts which are leading in their area of expertise. So if you have people that do it well, then amplifying it is literally just the icing on the cake of building that moat around someone's perception of the industry, their views, their insights and everything else. That's pretty much it for pros. So there's quite a lot of pros there. But into the cons pile, which there are some cons, and I would say it can be quite expensive. Problem with these two is paying just when someone clicks to go to a landing page. You're actually paying anytime someone clicks on see more, clicks on comments, clicks through to your landing page. And again, the engagements can stack up. Again, it's much cheaper than the CPCs, but there's going to be a lot of people engaging with this post who may not take action. So it can be more expensive. I would still say it's pretty cost effective compared to other means. And again, it depends how good your ad is as well. You can't do any lead forms from it, so you can attach lead forms to traditional ads in the standard formats, but you can't do it with thought leadership ads. I'm not too mad at that. We don't use lead forms all that much anyway. It's hard to get people to post and to post good content. Founders are busy and seldom, a lot of them don't want to be on the spotlight. The next one was a negative. I think when it first came out, it kind of was times are changing. So they brought out promoting personal posts. You kind of was like, okay, I know in a minute they're going to start saying we're going to suffocate reach a little bit more because we want to kind of push people down this route. So it was kind of a ton of time to come. But I think if you weigh the pros and cons, the pros are massive and just the impact we're seeing is huge. Okay, so next step, let's go create one of these ads. Now I'm not going to go too deep into the ad creation process because I've done quite a lot of videos on these, so I'll link to them at the end to a playlist where you can go and see how to correctly set up a campaign. But if you want to go create in one of your campaign groups, go to campaign, wait for this to load. You have to either use the brand awareness or engagement objective. Again, different use cases. If you want to limit the number of impressions, you can go through brand awareness. If you just want to pay for when someone engages, you can go through the engagement. So let's click on engagement for now. Go next and go on classic, not accelerate. And then you can name it. I have naming conventions again in the other videos, but what I'm going to do is go down here, click on skip this. For now, I'm just going to advertise to everyone in the UK because I'm not going to go through and show you how to set up a campaign. Because like I mentioned, we've done loads of those videos. And again, in those videos, it shows you how to make sure you have all the right buttons and everything unticked. You can do single image or you can do video, the two key ones that I use. This single image is what you'd use if you don't have any image at all. So you can actually go away and just do a post without an image, or you can do it with an image. And video is one, obviously, if you've used a video from your personal post as well. So you go down here, and again, just like the other posts we set up, you go through and we talk about how you can do either maximum delivery, which I don't recommend because it will start taking the suggested bid by LinkedIn, which again, if you want to start selling really quickly, it's a good option. But most cases, you go through to manual bidding and then enable for bid adjustments because it's not a conversion action. And then for this, if it was £1.61, I'd probably start with around $75. Oh, $75? 75 cents, because this is the test account I created. For some reason, I did it in dollars rather than pounds. And then you can create your conversion actions, which are optional. So go through to the next, go on to browse existing content. And if we go on to typically where you'd see now would be where you'd go and look at your existing content of stuff you'd have done from a company page, or you can go through and actually organic post on your company page. And then you want to go into LinkedIn members to do it. So you can't go and create, typically you go create new ads if you're going to do one from a brand perspective or a brand page, a static image, video, whatever it may be, but go and browse existing content, go on LinkedIn members. And then if I type in Ben Brown, you can see me here. We've got different ads. So we've actually got the requests that we sent out for us to send or to use the image ads before. Say, for example, I wanted to promote this post, and what I'll do is I go on request for approval. I will click send, and then this will come up in their LinkedIn settings, but also they'll get an email. Or what you can do is go and view requests, and then you can go copy request link. You can hit, and then you can click approve, suggested 13 seconds ago, and then you can hit approve. You can go back and then refresh, and then go browse content, and then go through this process again, Ben Brown, and then we go and find that post we just promoted. And then you can see here it's approved, and I go click on this, and I put add to campaign, and then it gets added to your campaign. I'm not going to add this to campaigns, and it will start promoting this piece of content to the whole of the UK, which is something that I don't want to do. And as you can see here, we've already got loads of other ones approved from previous tests, where you can go through and actually use it so that I can go through and add those straight into the campaigns again as well. At the moment, you have to have manual approval. You can go through and set individual people's for automatic approval in the settings. So rather than actually being like, can you approve this every time? This is automatically approved to go out whenever you try and promote a new post, which could be super handy. And that's really how easy it is to create a thought leadership ad. You just go through, obviously I've done the whole campaign set up because I've done so many videos on that. But that's how you go through and do thought leadership ads in themselves. Now, these are some of the static ads we've put out. And one of the things I like to go and look at is things like the engagement rate. So performance, I think, and engagement is really good on thought leadership ads. You can go through the reactions. For some reason, I don't think seem to add up anywhere near, but I like to look at the average dwell time, go and see which ones people are spending the most time going and looking at and reading through. I think is quite good from a consumption level. And then I think comments are quite a good way to gauge how much people are interested in it. I don't think a lot of the leads that come through to us have never commented or liked. So I'd probably say engagement and how much of a consumption there is. But then videos, for example, are super, super interesting because you can see here we've been running a few different videos in this test account as well. You can see completion rate is quite high, but this video here is super short. So this video here is 3.47, but that is only a minute long, for example. So we can see here, minute long, about 3.5%, which isn't too bad for a minute video. But what I like to do is see here, we've had for the last few weeks running this video, which is about B2B marketing strategies. We haven't got loads and loads of likes, but it's 15 minutes long. And we can see here, we've got a 0.54% completion rate, which again, and you can see here, like, I mean, 38 people, for example, have watched the first 25% of the video, which again is going to be like 3-4 minutes worth of watch time, and 80 people have watched the first 3 or 4 minutes. We haven't got as much a completion rate on this one here, but as we can see, if we go onto it, we've got a 14 nearly 15-minute long video, and people are 0.23% of people clicking through. In some cases on brand ads, you'd be happy for like a 0.3% click-through rate, but instead we're getting 0.5% and 0.25% actual completion rate of these massively long form videos, which from a consumption perspective is what we really want to be going after, because then we can kind of assume that with 50 minutes of watch time, someone's familiar with how we think about certain platforms, our settings. Certain platforms are kind of familiar with the brand, if not the person who is doing it. So from a personal perspective, I think video and thought leadership ads are probably one of the secret weapons which people don't utilize that much, especially for long B2B buying cycles and consulting and sort of quite technical products. I think it's super, super interesting. And if you do want to go away and learn loads about LinkedIn ads, we have a playlist with, at the moment, at the time of filming this, around 20 different videos from everything, how to create LinkedIn ads, biggest mistakes, all technical setup of tracking and everything you possibly need to know about LinkedIn ad software. So I'll link to the playlist up here. But if you want to go look at the biggest ad mistakes as well that people are making when it comes to LinkedIn ads and spending a whole lot of money and not getting very far, I'll link to that video here as well. Any questions at all, always, please put them in the comments, but I hope you have a great day.